Okay, sorry about that. My computer died on me. I had to reconnect. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, you can love someone, but not be in love with them at the same time. And after everything that Neil's done, it's not gonna happen. I appreciate that the Swan Thiefers and Swan Fires and all, how many ships that Emma's shipped with. I appreciate that you thought that there was a victory, but it really wasn't. It affirms that yes, she did love him, and we're not denying that in any way, shape, or form. Of course, some part of her will always love him. He was her first love. He was the one that taught her how to love. First person that ever gave a damn about her, gave her a home and a family, and cared about her. And he gave her her son. So of course, she will always love him. And he'll always have he'll always have a piece of her heart. Anyone that's ever had a first love can attest that never quite completely leaves you. Even I can say that from experience. It never truly leaves you. It's always there. But you learn to move on. I mean, and Emma is obviously doing that. That moment for her was probably the first time in 11 years that she has allowed herself to grieve. I'm pretty sure from the flashbacks that we've seen that when Neil disappeared, I don't think she even shed a tear. I think she was in so much shock from him doing this to her, and then finding out 2 months after that she was pregnant and being in prison, that I think her mind and her body just went numb. And she just stopped feeling. She refused to allow herself to feel. I think that moment with her parents outside of that cave was the first moment in 11 years that she's allowed herself to feel that anger and that grief and the sadness and the despair, all of it, everything that she bottled up just came flooding out in one go. It's a good thing. She needed that. She most definitely did. If she's ever going to be able to let Neil go, because obviously they're going to find out that he's alive at some point in one of these future episodes. She's going to have to be able to put her past to rest and find a way to, for once and for all, to say goodbye. I mean, obviously he's never going to be out of her life completely. He's the son of Rumpelstiltskin, the father of her child. She's always going to have him in her life in some way. But, like, that part of her past, that relationship, this was a first step for her on the path towards moving on. And Hook's kind of doing the same thing at the same time. He's also kind of confronting that grief in the face so that he too can move on, because, I mean, Colin has said himself that he sees Emma as being his future, and he's knowing him, he's not going to stop fighting for that. He's worked too hard towards it. So that's all I have to say for that. Now I'm not gonna sit here and fangirl. I think we've all done our share of fangirling this whole fucking week. Almost kiss picture, kiss gif, actual kiss video, 3-5 promo with Killian in flashbacks wearing a naval lieutenant uniform. Oh my god. And now he has a brother. That's a plot hole. Right there. Because I'm pretty sure when he told Bay that his father abandoned him on that ship, he made it sound very much like he was abandoned alone. It's glaringly obvious that Liam is older. So it would not surprise me if Liam was already gone, like in the Navy or something. But from the way that Colin describes it, he makes it sound like they are thick as thieves and they've never been apart. So I don't even know. I don't know. I think the flashbacks is primarily going to be about Killian and Liam. But I'd like more. Like, I want flashbacks to his childhood. You know, like, I want to know who his mother was and how she died and the circumstances about his father abandoning him or them, whatever, you know. Oh, by the way, once A+ casting, because even though the guy is a couple of years older, he bears a somewhat of a resemblance to Colin. So A+ casting on that. I guess you could almost say he bears just enough of a resemblance to be like a half brother. So, yes, we got a kiss. A very hot fucking kiss. And, Emma, sweetie, about the whole, one-time thing, you keep telling yourself that whatever helps you sleep at night, sweetie. Even though I'm calling bullshit. Yeah. Colin was appropriately shady about that too. When asked in his interviews, will there be more kisses in the future? He said, it depends. He's pretty sure there probably won't be at least while they're in Neverland, which I understand. I mean, right now her focus is on Henry, which is where it should be. And Hook's focus is on Henry, where it should be. The moment they had right there was a very human, very emotional moment, and the response was appropriate. I mean, we all knew that that it was happening, that it was getting to this point. If it didn't happen at some point, it was going to look ridiculous. And to do it in this episode was perfect, because it's pretty much Killian's episode. This is Colin's episode. His flashback, his story, his everything. And the fact that he's taken this side trip to save Charming's life, because at this point Charming is on his last legs. If something's not done, so he was going to die. It was very well apparent in the promo when he was confronting Hook, saying, you know, stay away from my daughter. He looked like he was about to pass out, and Hook's kind of like, dude, what the fuck? I still don't know if that's before or after the kiss, but since it's in the dark of night and the kiss looked like it was in the middle of the day, I'm going to say that it was on their journey, and that Charming is so far gone that he doesn't even know what he's talking about. Although, you know, people might say that Charming sees things in black and white, but when it concerns Emma, I really do think he's more observant than people give him credit for. So I have this feeling that he has noticed that there's some things. I mean, look at what happened in episode 4 when Hook asked for her help to pull the rope to open up lift the stone away from the cave door. He kind of looked between him and her, and he was like, I got it. So obviously he knows that there's something going on. Either that or just that Hook is an egregious flirt. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that at this point, he would, if he's thinking that he's on his last legs and this is his last opportunity to say something, then he would say, you know, hey, if I don't make it, stay the fuck away from my daughter, you know? Because I don't think, he's not sure if Snow would say anything. Sometimes I think that Charming believes Snow's oblivious, and it's not true. Snow knows a lot more than she lets on. She's just better at hiding it. And obviously I think Snow would be more accepting, because Snow understands the relationship better. She was there when they first met, so she kind of has seen dynamics between them that Charming is not aware of yet. But anyway, yeah, that kiss was super hot. Oh my god, super hot! Oh my god! Super hot, yeah, like, so super hot, it was, that's what it was. Party in the fandom. Well, here's another one. Ooh, party in the fandom. For anybody that says that was a one-sided kiss, you're nuts. You're freaking nuts. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. No. No. Right now I'm going to go through the list of things I've seen all week on Tumblr. These are all the arguments that people have come up with to refute this scene and to say why it is bad. Or why they're against the kiss, why they, think there is an issue with this kiss. Most of them have centered around blaming Hook for something or other. If one reason gets shot down, they come up with another and another. Yesterday, there was a bunch of entertainment articles, because I guess this episode is generating so much buzz that, like, all the blogs and fanzines went and interviewed Colin for it. Zap to It, TV Line, Spoiler TV, Entertainment Weekly, you name it, he has interviewed. And in the Entertainment Weekly one, he said point blank that the kiss is a very human moment, and yes, it was spontaneous and unexpected on both of their parts, but it didn't come from nowhere. There's an attraction that is a deep attraction that is shared between both of them, and that's where the kiss came from. Whatever they put into that kiss is based off of what they feel for each other. So that passion that was in that kiss, that shit is for fucking real. Okay, complaint number one. For the last fucking time, it's in a goddamn article. They say it themselves in the fucking article. It's not magic. Not Neverland, not Pan, not Regina, not Rumple. It's not magic. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't a hallucination. It wasn't a charming fever dream. It wasn't a dream that Emma had when she was asleep. It wasn't a trick. It wasn't a Pan mindfuck. It was nothing. It was completely real. Listen to the word coming out of my mouth. It was real. They said it in the article, and the article's not gonna lie. That was that coming straight from the horse's mouth, because in order to get that information, Entertainment Weekly is actually, a rather large magazine. It's not a fanzine or a blog like the other ones. It's an actual, entertainment magazine. And when they do their articles, they go on set. That's where they got the fucking pictures from. They were on set. They took photographs. They sat down with the actors and they interviewed them. Yes, it is real. Why would they lie? They have no reason to. It doesn't gain them shit. As a matter of fact, them saying that it is an actual real Captain Swan kiss gains them even more. Because appropriately enough, they broke the internet when this came out. But anyway, yes, number one, the kiss is real, so please stop asking whether or not it's a hallucination, because it's not. 2. Here's our first excuse. She did it to say thank you. Wrong. She did not do it to say thank you, because before she kissed him, she said, "Thank you, Hook, for saving my father's life." So, she already got that out of the way. She didn't have to say thank you and then kiss him on top of it. If Emma wanted to say thank you, she would say thank you and walked away. Trust me, we're talking about Emma Swan here. She's not the type of person to put herself out there. If she says thank you, she means it. And usually, Hook would have left it at that. But, now mind you, I'm only going from the sneak peek that we got. I have a feeling that there is more tacked onto that scene than what we saw. So, it's still sort of, the context is still kind of iffy. I'm pretty sure we got everything that we wanted to see, but there might be a little bit more before, and a little bit more after that we're not aware of that we'll see tonight. But anyway, it was not done as a thank you because she already said thank you. She didn't have to stay and give him a kiss on top of it. Emma Swan is not the type of person to just kiss any old Joe that comes out of the woodwork. And if you think that, then you don't know her character very well. Number 2. He coerced her and emotionally blackmailed her because he saved her father's life, so he expects something in return. No. It makes zero sense for him to coerce a kiss out of her as payment for something that he's already done. If he was going to coerce a payment out of her, especially a kiss, he would have asked for it before he left. And this is Hook. He's not going to coerce a kiss out of any fucking body. I can tell you that right now. Hook has never had to pay for shit in his life, especially when it comes to affections. And Emma, if you honestly believe that Emma's gonna give it up out of some sense of obligation to her father, or emotional blackmail, or coercion, oh hell no, hell no! If he had asked for payment to take her father on that journey to save his life, she would have slapped the shit out of him. Are you for real? Are you for real? You're talking about the same person who, when she thought Graham bought her a cup of hot chocolate, she got in his face. And then when he followed her outside and gave her a kiss, she shoved him off and said, I don't think so. So yeah, if he had tried to emotionally blackmail her for a kiss, she probably would have laid him the fuck out. For real. No. It was not emotional blackmail. Because if you looked at Hook's reaction to that kiss, he didn't see it coming not a mile away. See, you see the banter that they have, the back and forth, that's their game. That's how they play. That's how they talk. You know, you only pull the pigtails of the one that you love. That's how they do. He was not at all expecting for her to follow through with that. He was flirting. That's as far as it ever goes. Because he knows that her focus is on Henry. He knows that she's mourning Neil. He's not going to be a callous jackass. If you look at the flashback, or the scenes of the flashbacks, he's obviously at one time was a good and honorable, upstanding, straight-laced gentleman. And in a lot of ways, except for the upstanding part, he still is a good, honorable gentleman. And he cares enough about her to respect her boundaries. He might flirt shamelessly, but that's Killian. That's just how he is. And to be honest with you, he only flirts with Emma. He doesn't flirt with anybody else. He has no want to flirt with anybody else. He does it because he likes her. Have you guys not ever heard the adage, you only pull the pigtails of the one that you love? To make them mad because you want them to notice you? Hello? Yes, there are some points where he does it as it's like an armor for him. It keeps him out of situations that are uncomfortable. But for the most part around Emma, when he does this, because he wants to make her smile. He enjoys making her laugh. You don't get that. You don't get much of that out of her. And he's made her laugh, smile 3-4 times in the last 3-4 episodes, so yeah. So that knocks that argument out of the water. Then, argument number 3. She's still mourning Neil, so it's wrong for her to be kissing Hook like that. That's bad. And I'm gonna couple that one with, she needs to be focusing on Henry instead of getting her thing on with Hook. Okay. Concerning the argument about mourning Neil, she and Neil, newsflash, Emma and Neil were not together. They were not a couple. They hadn't been together in 11 years. So she really, other than mourning someone that she loved in the past, mourning the loss of the father of her child, that's the only mourning that she's doing right now. She was not mourning him as a lost lover. She was mourning... It's hard to describe. She's mourning the loss of what they had. Mourning all the lost time. It was more anger than sadness. Here's another news flash. Just because they have a child together doesn't mean they have to be together. This is 2013, and not everything has to be nuclear family. Even Adam and Eddie have said this in dozens of different tweets, in dozens of different ways. Just because you love someone doesn't mean you're in love with them. And first love does not equal true love, or endgame love, whatever you want to call it. Also, and the biggest also, there are things you say when you think someone is dying and about to fall into a portal, and then there's what you say when you find out that they're alive and they're standing right in front of your face, and you have more time to actually think about it. Emma has said herself that what she said at that moment, she said in an emotional moment, because he was dying, and it was like a last plea, which we all knew. I mean, you don't ever discount the fact that she loved him, but it was not a "I'm in love with you" moment. I'm sure that when she finds out he's alive and they have a chance to sit down and talk, which they will, we already know that he's going to find out about her and Hook at some way. Some creative way that Colin was alluding to, sort of. Or was it Jen? No. It was Jen. She was alluding to the way in which Neil comes to find out about Emma and Hook. And which kind of makes me think, wait a minute, what's he going to find out? The most they've shared at this point is one kiss, and no one even knows about it. So I'm thinking by the time that they do find Neil, things are going to have escalated. I'm not saying that, up against a tree in the Neverland jungle type shit. No. Emma wouldn't go that far. She's not ready for that yet. But I would not be surprised if there are a lot more stolen kisses. Stolen moments here and there. Maybe with some heavy petting. But yeah, this is ABC, so... Although, that kiss was pretty heavy for ABC's standards, so who knows? Probably the hottest kiss that I've seen yet. So who knows? Yes, Neil's gonna find out. Yes, it's gonna be awkward. For all three of them. But they're gonna have to figure it out. Hook's gonna go through that guilt trip thing where, I fell in love with Bay's mother and I destroyed their family by allowing her to come with me, and he lost his mother, and now I'm doing the same thing by wanting to have Emma, who's the mother of his child. There's going to be awkwardness, but I don't think Emma's going to flip-flop because it's not in her character to do so. Obviously she's not going to make any decisions relationship-wise till the Henry thing is sorted first, period. So do not expect anything on that front until, I think that Neil will find out in Neverland, but they're not going to do anything about it until they get back. I think they're going to be too focused on getting him out, getting Henry out and getting back to Storybrooke. So I wouldn't expect it to be really like confronted until 10 or 11, somewhere in there. Like, I think the first stirrings of the confrontation are going to happen. Like, we'll get little bits of it. We'll get some of it, like the beginnings of it, and then we'll probably get the rest after the hiatus is over and the show comes back in March. God, longest 3 months of my life. Yes, it's gonna be awkward, but Emma's not the type to be flip floppy. She's just not. It's not in her nature to do so. If she wants somebody, she's gonna say, "This is the guy that I want to be with." I can't see her stringing them along, and I can't see Hook backing down. Not for a flat minute. There's gonna be a lot of guilt in there, and he's gonna be wary and worried and probably not sure what he should do, but he's going to maintain his stance that, look, I'm not going anywhere. I want to be with you, and I will honor whatever decision it is that you make. But I'm standing here right now saying that I'm not going anywhere. Well, not much else for me to really say. Really excited to see good form. I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be one of the highest rated episodes that they've done, because everybody in the fandom, regardless of whether they like Hook or not, has been really keen on finding out more about his background. So this is going to be good for us, getting a lot of background story. Colin having the chance to wear something other than leather, although I'm pretty fine with the leather if you ask me. Yeah, I'm good with that. And a chance to be able to work without the hook, which I'm sure was a big upside for him. We get to see a very different side to him, a much more straight-laced, black and white type. And I think this will prove that the capacity for being a hero has always been there. He's always been a good person, but circumstances led to him veering off to a different path. The going theory is that Liam, on this mission to find the flower, that Liam dies. And as a result, Killian changes somehow and decides to become a pirate. But even when he was a pirate, he was still young, and he was pretty much carefree. And he lived his life, and he was jovial, and he was fine, but he was also very lonely. I think all that laughter and playfulness and all those things that he did was kind of his armor and his mask to keep everybody out. I think losing Liam, even more so than losing Mila, losing Liam was a major blow, because he was the only family that he had left after his father had abandoned them, and without his brother. I mean, I think that more than anything had a very profound effect on Killian Jones. And then, compounding that with what happened with him and Mila just made a bad thing worse. But now he has new purpose, And I think that by learning more about the way that Killian used to be, we're going to be able to see more of those things in him now. More of the ways that he's changing, more and becoming the person that he once was. Adam and Eddie have said that Neverland makes you confront who you truly are at heart and who you used to be. And I think that's what's happening with him, that Killian's starting to confront that hero in him, that the lieutenant, straight-laced, by-the-book rules type guy, the good, honorable man that he used to be before he decided to become a pirate. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have any honor, because he actually does. He has probably more honor than most of the people in that group. well, not to overshadow Snow and Charlie, but he definitely has a code, and he lives by it. So, yeah, actually, for my blog for tonight, I'm gonna post this because it's getting late. So, I don't know when next week I'm gonna do one for good form. I will have to find a way to rise from the dead first after seeing that entire episode. So you might want to give me a few days to recoup. I'm probably gonna need it. And then episode 6 is also slated to be really good. That's gonna be our Eric and Ariel episode, and we finally get the chance to see Gil McKinney playing Eric. Yay! We've seen all these photographs and pictures. Now we'll finally get a chance to see him live action. Awesomeness. So that's it for me, and I will talk to you guys Monday or Tuesday when I do my vlog for good form. And hopefully it'll be coherent. And still sane. And living and breathing. So, peace out, guys.